Yo, what up? It's your boy Ace to the Boogie, and today I'm talking about the top 5 ways you can keep your hats looking new. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Alright, now welcome back. Today we're hitting those 5 essentials to keeping your hats looking new. Now, if you're looking at this video, I'm sure you have at least a hat or 2 or 3 or 4 or more. But basically, you probably got a lot of hats, a good amount of hats, and you want to know how to keep them looking as new and as fresh as possible. And so I'm going to give you my top 5 ways to keep your hats looking brand new. Now, number 5, this is an essential, and these things you got to think about it. These tips or methods, they go across the board. Any type of hat, it could be a fitted, it could be a snapback, it could be a dad hat, it could be a cowboy hat. I mean, you could just pretty much apply these same principles and same rules to any style of hat, and it should help keep your hats looking newer. So, number 5, cap brush. You gotta have a hat brush, because the number one thing that makes your hat look old and beat up is dust, dirt, and lint on your hat. So you need to have a way to get those things off of your hat. And so here we have the cap brush. This one is actually from New Era. It removes dirt, dust, and lint. So we have this brush right here. It's more of a spongy style brush. Have a hat right here, just show you it's really basic. You just use it to knock off all the little dust anywhere, lint, stuff like that. Especially if you store your hats like on the wall or something like that, you never see the dust, but the dust is in the room. So after a while, it'll kind of settle in and just it'll make your hat look kind of dusty, and that's what you don't want. So we have the New Era cap brush right there. Then I also have the Hat Club hat brush. Now this one is a really good one that I like. Same thing, same method, same type of brushing motion, and I like this one just because it has the boar bristles. So I mean, it's able to get in that little nook and cranny, you feel me, at the bottom right there. Boom. This is just one of those essentials that you need. You need a hat brush. You got to make sure that you keep the dust and the dirt off of the hat, you feel me? You don't want that to settle and just stick on there, because it'll turn a black hat brown over time, you feel me? So number 5, we have the hat brush. Let's get into number 4. We have number 4 right here. Now you're probably looking at this like what is this, man? So let me take one of these out. Here we go. Okay, so this right here is what you would call a cap liner. So what this does is it keeps like a little barrier between your sweatband and your forehead. So pretty much you just put it on your hat. Matter of fact, have one right here. I have one of those good old white brims right here, and if you can see on the inside, I have one of these already stuck on. Now this I bought from Amazon, and they're about $10 for a pack of 30. So right here, this is like one pack of 10, and you get 3 packs of those, so you get 30 in total, and it was about $10. But I really like these because they're very thin. You just put them inside the sweatband of the hat, and it just gives you that added layer of protection. So you know, usually you have the white sweatband, you can't just rock it all day because you don't want to get that inside to be all dirty and stuff. And once you put it in, like here, hopefully you guys can see that. I mean, it doesn't change the composition of the hat once you throw it on. It's not like, why this fool got an extra line inside? Nah, none of that. It blends in. Since it is white, you won't even like think twice once you have. Matter of fact, let me put this one on so you can kind of see. Like you can't even tell that it's in there. It doesn't make it any thicker, so it's not like it's so thick that it makes the hat smaller. It's like you can still wear it the exact same way. But I'm definitely a big fan of these liners, especially when you have that white sweatband. I'm telling you, you know they get dirty so fast, and to have some type of protection will help keep you it'll keep your hat looking newer longer, and that's what we're here for. So that's number 4. Now number 3, check it out, man. Right here we have the Shout Wipe and Go. Now it doesn't have to be Shout Wipe and Go. They have a Tide version of this, which is basically like a wipe that'll help get stains out of your hats. And especially now, since we're having like a lot of light colored brims, you know, we have the grays, we have the greens, we have the pinks. So let's say, for instance, you're eating, you got some fries or whatever, and then you hit the hat just, you know, off of force of habit. You could possibly have a grease stain on the brim of your hat just by moving it around a little bit. That's where these come into play. And like I said, they have the Shout Wipe and Go, they have the Tide wipes, they also have the crown wipes. So, you know, they're like specifically for hats. These are pretty much all purpose, but they kind of do like the same thing. So you can check out like the Tide, the Shout, or the crown wipes. So they basically open it up. There's a pre-treated wipe in here, and you just basically wipe wherever you have the stain or any type of grease. Boom, 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 hit it, let it dry, and it comes right back. Now it's not supposed to be like cleaning the full hat, as far as like, let's say if you have a fully brown sweatband, you don't just put this there and it magically goes away. It doesn't really work like that. This is more for your spot treatments, and it'll definitely help keep your hats looking new. So I believe this was number 3 as far as my top 5. Now let's go to number 2. Number 2, man. Protector. Now once you buy the hat, man, the first thing you should do is really protect it. Now what I use is the Scotch Guard, which is basically like a repellent. So if you imagine like a shoe repellent, like they have the Rejuvenator stuff, or they have like the other companies that'll basically what's the other one? There are a ton of different ones, but it's basically a protector that waterproofs the shoe or the hat in this case. And I feel like it's very good to invest in a good protector. And like I said, I use the Scotch Guard because this one on Amazon I believe was $10, and it's 13.5 ounces. This is 13.5 ounces, and the other ones that you get like for shoes, those are about $15, and they're only about 7 or 8 ounces. So you get a lot more, and it's cheaper, so you can't really go wrong with that. Now, just as a heads up, this does smell very chemically, like, so it has a very strong chemical smell. So don't spray this on your hat. Actually, you know what? I'll give you a little spray demo right now. So when you spray it, you just want to give it like a little mist. You're better giving it a mist, letting it dry, and then giving it another mist and letting it dry. So it's better to do 2 very light coats instead of doing like one super heavy saturating coat. You don't want to do that. But like I said, it has a very strong smell, so don't spray this on your hat and expect to wear it in like 20 minutes. Spray it, let it dry out, let that smell dry out, and once it does dry, it won't have like any chemical smell to it. So yeah, you definitely want to protect the hat. And actually, I'll spray one of these hats with like some water just so you can kind of see what it looks like after you have that layer of protection. And that brings me down to the number one thing to help keep your hats looking new. Let's see, let me go ahead and show you. The number 1 is storage. Storage is the number 1 thing to keep your hats looking new. So how you store the hat is going to play a big role on if your hat stays looking new or if it doesn't. If you follow 1 through 4, or if you follow 2 through 5, but you don't follow 1 as far as keeping the storage right on your hats, then I mean it'll basically all be for nothing. Because if you store your hats, like I said, on your dresser and you don't have any type of protection for them, then they'll get dusty. They'll start to have a different shape or form. You know, stuff will land on them, and you'll get like a crease in this area of the hat, and that's what you don't want. So for me, this is what I use, and I have a number of them, but I like these containers. These are called underbed boxes. Hopefully you guys can get a read on that. But this is a 41 quart right here, and something like this will be able to hold about 32 hats. So I stack mine in rows of 8. Like for instance, let me see. So I stack them in rows of 8, and you can get 4 rows in going across. And what it does is, I mean, you can just protect it from the hats falling, for 1. 2, you don't want, you know, anybody to sit on them, or you don't want to accidentally throw clothes on them, some jeans that'll have the hats in like a different form. You want to keep them protected. And so when it comes with the lid, I mean, you can't really go wrong. These usually run for about $10 or $11, and like there are other different ways to store the hats. I know that we have the Hat Club duffel. That's always a great way. Those hold about 30 hats, and that's more of a display if you want to like display your hats and, you know, keep them safe at the same time. So those hold up to 30 hats, and I did a review on that, so you can check my other video on that if you want to learn more about the Hat Club duffels. But I just have a couple of these. I probably have about 4 or 5 different bins like this, and you're able to stack them up. You can keep them out of the way, you know. And for me, I don't necessarily have to look at my hats all the time. Like, I do like seeing them, but I don't have to like see them just all the time. So I like having those. And I know some people do hang their hats on the wall, which is cool, because that way you can kind of display, you can kind of show off your collection. And this is what I recommend if you do display them on the wall. The Hat Club hat tack is actually the best method that I've seen, because this is how we used to do it. We used to, if we had them on the wall, you just open up the hat, put a little nail in the wall, and you just hang it, which is cool. But guess what? Over time, you start to have that lean where it's a point in the back of your hat like this, and that's what you don't want. You don't want it to look all baggy or have like a sharp point in the hat. So what Hat Club did was they came out with the hat tack, which it has like a adhesive on the back, so you can stick it on your wall. And what you do is, it's the same type of principle, but instead of having just that one nail in the wall, your hat will be able to sit on the hat tack, and it kind of gives you a more even curve on the hat. So here you go. Hopefully you guys can see it. And that's how your hat will sit, which is better than to have just that single nail in the wall and boom, you just sit like this. Because over time, and I've done it, I think we've all done it, it'll start to stretch and you have that kind of baggy point in the back of the hat. So here we go. This is if you want to display your hats on the wall, go with the Hat Club hat tack. It is worth it to me if that's the way you want to have your room or office or, you know, man cave set up. The Hat Club hat tack is the best one for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something from it. Even if you don't take all 5 tips, go ahead and take 1 or 2 or whatever, you know, works for you. But these are the things that work for me, man. And so I decided to pass that along to my hat people out there. Please go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. You know, talk to me, man. I talk back. What do you use? What do you find your essentials are to keeping your hats looking brand new, man? Let me know. You could put me on something. You feel me? But anyway, it's your boy Ace to the Boogie, and I'm out.